She take my money when I'm in need. Yes, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger and way over town. That digs on me.
Hey, welcome, ladies and jerks.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
everyone.
Happy Sunday.
Hey, and we have
Oh,
Kathy in the
dear.
chat. Hey, Kathy, we gave you a wrench so nobody can attempt to clone or pretend
Silence
to be
you.
Yep.
or silence you. So you can use that wrench at your discretion. You see something that you don't want, get rid of it.
Well, and I think that just so everyone knows, any bad mouthing of Jem or his loved ones will not be tolerated.
No, this is going to be an unusual situation in that we're usually quite open to different points of view, but I'm afraid there is a grieving family here and we're just not going to stand for it. So come back next week. If you want to have an argument, feel free. Not tonight, folks.
What she said. Yep. Not tonight, folks. But thank you.
Don't make me get my finger ready to poke eyes out here.
I
got your back with the eye poking.
I saw that, baby.
I think that one of the first things that we have to deal with, without getting into big arguments and back and forth with a difference channel, mentioning no names, everything that is put out here tonight has been seen by various members of the family. That includes the recorded conversation. It wasn't an interview. It was a conversation over several things. That conversation was given to the family. Anything that they didn't want in there was taken out. Several people have listened to it and cleared it. The video that I've made has been sent to different family members. There is nothing here tonight that is a problem for the family. So please, you can put your concerns about that on the back seats. We wouldn't do it. It just... I know that there are people who believe that this is about axe grinding. And there's a little bit of it that is. I'm not going to lie to you. But I want to put yourself in the position of it being your dad, your child, your brother. An ex-partner is not the only relationship in the world.
Can I add something real quick too? I wanted,
Sorry.
I listened, I didn't want to, but I listened to the last half of Ziggy's little live she put on last night I don't think she stayed a night off of YouTube since she said she was leaving YouTube, but she went at Cindy about a text that she told the family about, Kathy in particular. I just want people to know that text and all of those texts were coming as we were speaking to Kathy. As we were having this conversation, Ziggy was madly texting Cindy, and that's where that voice text that I have posted came about as well. So I just wanted to put that out there. These little games that she's playing and the narrative she's trying to spin.
I find it incredibly rich that somebody who prides herself on recording all conversations and screen caps like a mad thing and has people send screen caps, and who then checks in on people and says, oh, I see this has been said, is suddenly when one screen cap or one conversation gets out that involves her, is absolutely flipping her wig. Now, if you make the rules, live by the rules.
Yeah, you don't pick and choose, girl. I mean, you can't complain about the very thing you do.
And she needs to leave Cindy alone.
Yes.
Don't text her. Don't call her. The only thing you need to let her know is that you have made a payment. And girl, there ain't no way that they told you you couldn't make a payment.
No.
Get out of here with that shit. And
Yep.
$75, that isn't going to pay it off, girl. Do you know how much interest 24% interest is on $7,400? Do you have any idea?
You'll catch up, Angel. Everybody in chat is a little confused right now. Everything will make sense here really soon. Lolita's on her way home. So we were just going to chat because we didn't want to leave y'all hanging while got home.
We're waiting
Go
for
ahead.
people to come in too. And I also like to add on to Eliza's. Leave Jim's family alone. Stop calling his mother and his sister.
Yes.
Just stop. Knock it off.
Leave them alone.
Yeah, the story is going to be put out today, and this is the story they want to be told. And outside of that, they just want to grieve and heal and move on. Like, they don't. I know there's a lot of people contacting them, wanting the scoop, wanting this and that. Stop.
And
And anyone
Again-
that doesn't think that the family should have a say with how he's remembered, especially after the way he's been smeared, you can just kick rocks. That's my feeling about it.
Yeah.
We can't help you if that's how you feel.
Because none of this is about Ziggy. This is about this family having a voice and wanting the truth to be put out there and Jem to be remembered for who he actually was and not the version that we've been told for the last year. It's not vindictive.
No.
Nope.
You know, it's that they have a voice. They have a right to say, they have a right to clear things up.
And the family, again, if I didn't state this before, the family has actually been on YouTube. They've heard, they've seen, they're aware.
we didn't hunt this family down.
No.
No.
So stop it with
The
that.
family-
Stop it with that.
The family were put in contact with us by a third party. The idea that we have hassled them and they're having anxiety attacks and all these different things that have been said are frankly bizarre. The children, I've not had direct contact with them, but I did put together the video for them and they were very appreciative of that. The idea that Kathy was having some sort of meltdown over something that Ziggy has said, I found frankly bizarre because we were having a perfectly charming conversation about different yarns and crochet, you know, all the traumatic, dramatic stuff.
Right. Yeah. You know,
Yes.
that horrible, horrible stuff.
The notion that all we've done is sit here and sort of tear shreds off Ziggy, that's the only thing we spoke about. We had a really wide-ranging conversation about Kathy's interest in YouTube, the fact that she's been on YouTube for quite a while, how she's going to develop her channel, which was already in the planning long before Jim's unfortunate illness and untimely death. So the notion that this is all suddenly happening, coming to a peak purely because of Ziggy, it's egomania and wild. I don't know what else to tell you.
And also, I want to say, remember this, we choose to be on the internet. We choose YouTube. The our families don't. So when you want to air out your family on YouTube, be very careful. Go look how many people are on YouTube. And your family could be listening to you. Just remember that. And if they come back and they want to respond, you kind of got coming. Don't bash.
They have every
family.
right.
Yeah.
They launch their channel tomorrow, right? Relaunch.
Yes,
Tomorrow
they
morning.
do. 9 o'clock.
Relaunch. They're quite long-standing channels, and this rework of their channel was long in the works, but of course it's been put off for several weeks because of everything else that's gone on. The one sister is a very good editor, is very technically minded, has a technical background. The other sister is very artistic and creative, and that's her input to it. They want to do all sorts of things that I really do think that they've got a chance of making a great channel. I mean, they've already got a channel, but the plans that they've got for it are really interesting. And
I'm looking
it's all
forward
really
to.
positive stuff, positive, creative, helpful hints, travel hints. It's not going to be some sort of true crime drama, family drama, agony aunt. It's nothing like that. It's as separate from
No.
this as it's possible to get.
No, it's not a
it-
reality show.
No.
it's the pink and fluffy side of YouTube, which does exist for some people. Just because we don't live on that side, it doesn't mean it's not actually out there.
Yes, I encourage you all to go check it out. Sub up.
But don't
you
bring
know,
the drama.
that's what I was just gonna say. Sub up and participate in the good things they offer, but don't bring Ziggy drama over there. Don't
No, don't.
harass this family. If you don't have questions about crocheting or the topics at hand, knock it off.
And they have
That's all.
mods. They have mods ready to go. So
Yep.
don't think you're going to walk in there and kick things over because you're not.
And we have our mods ready to go tonight too. So this is one night that you're going to have to behave.
Yeah, we don't do that often, but tonight's the night.
I would really, really appreciate it. Anybody in the chat, please don't argue amongst yourselves. If anybody comes in sort of windmilling for Ziggy, just let
Ignore
them.
them.
Unless they say something directly offensive, they can talk to themselves to their heart's content. But if they start attacking the family, they will go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't argue with them. It's not going to be, nothing will come of it that's any good. I would really like this to focus on the family if we can, and let this be a one and done. It doesn't have to be drama going on endlessly. This is a right of reply, and then hopefully things can settle down. There can be some sort of equilibrium reached, and everyone can move forward. Hopefully.
Yes.
But for those of you asking that are still a little lost, we are going to play a conversation.
Brandy, you're very welcome.
Yes,
you don't need
that's
to
what I was-
thank us. You don't need to thank us. That was our pleasure. You're welcome.
We're so happy that you're pleased, Brandy. That
Brandy.
means more to us than anything else.
Brandy, I would love it if you could do me one favour, though. It's recently been alleged in a different channel that we were somehow trying to take you over as a project. It would be lovely if you could confirm for everybody who's nosy that we've never had any direct contact with you, ever. We've only
Well,
ever
she did-
contacted you through Purple.
She did come on our panel one time briefly to ask us to.
Yes, but we've never emailed
We've
and
never
we've never
reached
Right.
phoned, we've never...
That was it. That was the only contact we've ever had with Brandy.
Because I can't stand the idea that people think that we're harassing as well as all the other harassment that she gets in day-to-day life
Whatever.
and
We
Twitter
will
and
never.
whatever.
We just
It's
want
funny,
Brandy
isn't it?
to
You
be
don't
able
see
to come and
people-
chat.
I haven't seen a mad rush of people to apologise to Brandy for some of the things that have been said. Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't it?
It would be.
That's expecting a whole lot from some of these people.
I'm not going to hold
Buttercup,
my
you're
breath.
not blocked. We see you, and you don't. People don't really get blocked in here.
No. You have to be a real asshole for us to block you.
Or racist, livid, or
Yeah.
frosty.
Lavender
Which-
Bells.
Which, by the way, Frosty, I got a video coming for you, sweetheart. You're about to understand exactly why I don't fuck with you.
Yes, you will very soon.
And she confirmed for you, Pearl. He said that is correct.
Thank you, Brandy. I really do appreciate that because there's so much twisted conversations going on, and I would hate people to think that we'd actually harassed you in any way. That's one of the reasons that we didn't do a live, that we did a pre-recorded thing, because we just did not want drama around that situation for you when you already have so much to deal with.
Isn't it
Yes.
amazing on YouTube how things get so twisted and they can never get what happened. They can't get it correct when they go back to their channel. It's amazing. It's really simple.
Yeah. But it happens
I know.
a lot.
I promise we're going to get on with this interview
Oh yeah,
or
it's coming.
5
conversation. We just have to get it loaded up,
If you're a regular, you know that this is a common occurrence.
especially on
Lolita
Sundays.
has to
Sundays
have
are hard for
schools.
Lolita.
Hey, Lip Lock.
Yeah, I
Hey,
don't
Lip
do
Lock.
YouTube on the weekends. I have a life, and but this needed to come out now. It couldn't wait, and
Yeah.
I will be home in less than 5 minutes.
Speaking of people with no life, I just went into my email and apparently Unseen is still talking at me.
Oh
This
no.
is like, I'm sorry, but this is the weekend. Do you not have anything better to do? I mean, I will get back to you, Unseen. Don't
Responses
worry.
back to her were they were just perfect.
Epic. Epic.
I have been enjoying it so much.
That lady stays confused. How are you this confused?
Now, Pearl, I can't imitate your accent, but I can read in your accent in my
I
head.
can too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
me
can
too.
Hers, Buttercups, and
yes. Soup.
Wee Frosty. Oh, Soup
Oh,
too.
yeah. She has that
I wish
sweater.
I could do imitations because perfectly in my head I can, but I try to put it out my mouth. It does not come out that way.
Yeah.
Right, Griffey? She's not very good at being unseen at all. Lord, but she's good at being lost.
She is.
Oh, that's an understatement.
It's kind of it's kind of comedy now. I'm
Yeah.
beginning to enjoy
Yes.
her
We can't get
confusedness.
It's
I
just
have to admit,
hilarious.
I literally just do it for the troll laughs. I can't resist.
No, it's so
But
easy.
I had other things that I had to do, so I just could not get back to you. And
She
say,
was
"But
under a
please."
deadline on a video, okay, and saying she will get to you. Don't worry.
And then I had a whole separate external thing going on that I'm not going to get into here, but that really messed my time up. So if you've been sitting there patting yourself on the back about how you've shut
It's
me down,
coming, girl.
I
It's
hope you
coming.
had a good weekend.
Thank you, Sapphire. Reminds
You know,
you
as she was working on that video, she's thinking of all kinds of things she's going to tell you.
Yeah.
Whole dialogue was running through her head. Don't worry. It's coming.
I really find it amusing because apparently Unseen's got a little video out there. If you'd like to throw a review, God knows she's desperate. I don't know whether she's got a new one, but her last one was full of thick English cliches that I was meant to find deeply offensive. You know, things like Cheers and
Cheers.
Sherlock Holmes. And I mean, seriously, who wouldn't be insulted by being compared to Sherlock Holmes? My God, I don't think the shame will ever pass.
Okey artichokey.
Okay,
That is my favorite. That
She
is
said
my
that-
favorite.
She said that to us, y'all. She
Okie
said
dokie,
that to
artichoke.
us.
Was that
she did.
before? Was that before or after you sent her to bed that night?
That was
It was
after I sent
after.
her to bed. She ended with okie dokie artichokey.
After she came up with that after she had cussed us out.
Okie dokie artichokey. I thought, no way. I know this ain't real life right now.
I'll never in
Oh,
my
don't
life
make me
understand
cry
that woman.
already, guys.
Right?
Right? Oh,
I already
we got
know
enough
what's
to cry
come.
about when those videos come. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Hello, infamous truth teller, new subscriber. Welcome.
Yes,
Pull up a chair.
welcome.
Hopefully, you'll stick around and we won't run you off with our terrible views.
Well, welcome to the circle.
Welcome.
It varies.
And those people over in Ziggy's last night confused about circle jerk and automatically can only think of it as
The
The
perversion.
sexual nature.
right.
But lip
Right.
We were
They need
accused
to
of being
open-
ex-porn stars.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, you know, like they're really old and can't get it, but that's not it because Lip Block knows. Lip
But
Block's
it's
probably
not- it's
older
not
than
just
most of
She
that.
was
them.
quick with the definition.
Yeah.
These people,
I adore that about her. Actually, she does that a lot in chats. Lip Block does. She'll
She
put
will
definitions
straighten it
in.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sets people straight. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I
so
find it really concerning that these people only vaguely know about the sexual connotation of circle jerk and seem to have no awareness of the cultural and political implications of the term circle jerk that have been prevalent in the last 15 years. Do you live under a rock? Do you not watch
Well,
the news?
Y'all need Jesus.
Fix
the
it,
ones
G.
that are smart and know are subbed up here. And the ones that don't, well, look where they are. Sitting in the middle of the
Look,
night
I
in
put
Ziggy's chat.
definition in her chat. I left, got so mad.
That's why she wasn't answering anyone.
Lip Block cracks me up. Yes,
She
I
said
know
that.
what a circle jerk is, Angel.
I know, that was hilarious.
That was the best.
Don't you just love the duality that we're painted as? On one hand, we're prudes, and on the other hand, we're aging porn stars obsessed by circle jerks. Which is it?
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
They said that we were.
Either way,
aging
we're a good time.
porn
Thanks for
stars.
joining us.
I have been a porn star for a long time, and I'm not aging too much.
Same, girl.
So
Same.
there. And don't even get Wee Frosty started, because
Oh God,
Yeah.
where's OG Buttercup? Don't get her going.
And how many times have I told you, ladies, leave the porn bots in there? I want in there. Yeah,
She loves the suggestion.
yeah, definitely. I'm
We
there.
should we should have that porn bot gif. You know, the one of the porn bot, the pole dancing robot thing.
Yes, yes,
We
can
need
we
that
have
on the
that?
community
I'm getting
wall.
excited.
That was hilarious.
With my strip club anthem, bands make her dance. Bands make her dance. All these chicks fuck.
Oh my god.
I'm just popping down.
Oh god.
Who said no
Oh,
boners will
God.
get by me? Focus on solution.
That's our girl right there.
Uh-huh. Thank y'all for holding tight and sticking with us. We're almost there. Just a couple more squirrels to get vacuumed off and we'll be done.
Yeah.
we got to pull this footage out of the archives.
Hi,
I mean,
Stacy.
and then it was created a few days ago, so.
Probably a moment to repeat what was said right at the very top of the show. For anybody who's just recently come in, everything that you're going to hear tonight and see tonight has been shown to several different family members, different sides of the family. So that's like sibling and offspring, not just one aspect of the family. They've listened, they've asked for little bits to be taken out, which we were more than happy to do. They've looked at videos. This is not a situation where they are being railroaded or the wool is being pulled over their eyes or anything like that. Fully cognizant of what's going on and fine with it.
Yeah, we've
It's
very
what
much
they
worked
want
in
out.
tandem with the family.
Yeah. It was very important that we did this right. It was very
Yes.
important to me. I've come to adore this family, even though I don't even know them.
They're very
But
good people.
they are, and I'm very protective of them. And I just want them
was-
to be able to move on and have,
It was really good to talk to them and find out that they're nothing like they were portrayed, and they're just regular folks.
no.
They're lovely folks. Lovely, lovely people.
Yeah. And Jem was very loved by so many. It's so incredible to hear the stories.
Them guinea pigs are going at it.
Are they? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'll
was that the
move.
guinea pigs?
I
We
think they're
see that.
yanking on something.
I thought somebody was hate typing.
Mrs.
could be
M
too.
here is discussing the universal problem for those of us with short arms. The T-Rex contingent that just cannot reach around their own backs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit. I'm tired of you guys making fun of me.
Oh, I represent that remark.
For those of us that climb on cabinets to get bowls every day, fuck you.
All right, guys, I'm home.
I hear
I'm
that.
sorry.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Lady Frosty.
You guys ever
Okay.
have to stand on the bottom shelf at the grocery store to try to get something because nobody
Yes,
walks
ma'am.
by tall enough?
Yes, ma'am. Throw
That's me.
small things at cereal boxes.
Thank you, Tragedy Pimps.
We Frosty, yeah.
All right, I'm jumping over on my laptop now. Sorry about that, guys. I got home and one of my birds
Oh my
died.
God.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
died?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
So that's what the holdup was. I had to.
Pearl, she's gonna need a video.
What do you think she said? It was frying chicken?
Oh,
I wasn't sure. I just heard bird and I started laughing because she has
Poor
like
thing.
every animal you can imagine. But then I heard the rest and that wasn't funny.
No, no.
No, no.
this lady loves her animals. And
Oh.
I'm not even
Even
joking.
ones that aren't hers. She loves
She-
random animals that
she
just
has-
walk up in her yard.
Oh no,
She has tarantulas in her cupboard, y'all.
Oh my God. Her
I was gonna
snacks
say,
are
don't
safe
go
from
into
me.
her cupboards. Yeah.
Oh,
Same.
it's the
Snacks are
baby.
safe for me.
I have to put the baby in there so the cats don't knock him down. But no, I had English budgies.
Let them cats eat him.
And
What?
I say the same.
they're
I said it and I don't care. I'm not
to the
sorry.
end of their
What are
life.
you
back you
talking
up.
about? I hope you're talking about the spider and not the bird.
No,
Yes,
yes,
the
definitely.
spider.
I'm not talking about the bird. I like birds.
Spider.
I want the cat
Okay.
to eat the spider.
Shabazz and Dirty Steve will be hunting you down.
I don't like Dirty Steve or any of his damn friends. None of them.
I like Dirty Steve.
No, somebody should smash them.
I,
feelings too.
that's her pet, you guys. Come on.
Spider life
I'm
matter.
sorry, I can't.
She,
Snuggle
I know
them,
I couldn't
baby.
either, but
Snuggle your
it
dog.
she loves it.
I do
As
feel
of
bad about her
today, my
bird
daughter
though.
has 62 baby rats.
No, I don't care about rats. I love rats.
Oh no, I can't do those either.
No,
Yeah,
me
62
neither.
babies.
I'm
Oh,
good
no.
with everything besides
Why?
the
Why?
spiders now.
Why? Does she have a snake?
Food.
Okay.
They're
I was
snake
gonna
food,
say,
but
yeah.
some of them are just breeders.
Hmm.
Daphne said you guys are going to put me in the corner.
Well, this guy.
There's a lady in my neighborhood like that. We call her a breeder too.
Uh-oh. I love Kangaroo. She'll just pop up, unmute, and say
Right.
the funniest shit.
Mute
I
back.
say get rid of
Gamer
gamer
guy.
guy.
You need an apostrophe and an E in that sentence.
Yes, you put you're a fraud. What? If you can't spell,
If it's you
fraud.
are, yeah.
You can't.
He's gone, y'all.
Yeah.
Can't even
Isn't
spell
that
properly.
interesting that having a member of the family in the chat, having run everything by the family, having given them both the right to reply and editorial control, we're still a fraud. What exactly do you want?
Yeah, and Jim's
Hey, Justice.
children have even been in contact and have heard the video. This isn't just something that was thrown together willy-nilly.
No.
We explained it to them, and I believe we got a lot of smart subscribers, so they're caught up. And the ones that ain't, we can't help.
Guy.
Yep. Cars. You came back and
He's
spelled it
gone.
wrong again? We told you, fool.
Next time, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. Try that with your next run.
You're a fraud. What? I feel like it's an incomplete sentence. You're
It
a
is.
fraud. Right. The fuck?
Yeah,
You said
Black
what?
Belt. And what I can't believe is we have made
Sub
a-
up, everybody, because about to go on
Intelligent.
subscribers only if Gamer Guy wants to play games.
a very compelling case for fraud, and if people are okay with taking advantage of vulnerable members of society.
Can I just say, Fathead, you have the perfect name.
I swear.
Oh my
name
God.
and
All
that
right, real
post
quick,
are just
everybody. If you're not
perfection.
subbed, get subscribed. We're gonna have to put this bitch on subscribers only.
You are
And
the
that
chef
spelling lesson didn't sink in.
idiots.
Look, all you mods, I know we don't normally say it, but just block them. We don't have to don't give them any more attention than that. Just block them.
They're doing good. Everybody's on top of it.
Okay.
No worries.
I've broken my own suggestion by interacting with the chat, but we haven't started yet. The minute we start, that's it. I am not arguing
Right.
with anybody in the chat. You'll be gone.
Apparently,
Yeah.
ICU says the same person's been spamming chats all day.
Oh, okay.
Here comes.
Oh, here's another.
See, she's
All
quick.
right.
ICU got her before I could.
I seriously cannot comprehend how exciting your life must be.
I know, right?
No, not yet, Justice. We're
I'm
We're getting
pulling
it ready
everything
now.
up now.
Yeah, she is getting it now.
We're in kind of like a unique situation here. Okay, we're here with. Oh, hold on a second.
It is
Because,
pulling up now. So, few minutes. Thank you for everyone for being patient.
Weekends, I have stuff to do, but we have to come on at that 6 o'clock mark so we can get Pearl on here. So we kind of have to just kill time until I can get home on my laptop. So, all
I'm
right.
really sorry, folks. It is all my fault.
It absolutely. I will bend over
the
backwards.
international dateline.
We'll bend over backwards for Pearl every day of my freaking life.
What about the rest of us?
Oh, absolutely. But Pearl,
Because she pulled
Kathy, I'm
the
glad-
country.
prayer garden absolutely too.
Oh, good
Kathy,
Lord.
I am so glad. I just really wanted to do it justice and not do a half sort of baked job. I feel like I've got to know his face doing that. I've seen so many pictures.
I
I tried
know.
to use every single picture that was sent to us.
And he always looked like he was having such a great time, and so did everyone around him, which
Yeah.
is an even bigger
Fine.
point.
I know he
And
really
And so
did.
so many family events.
I got a
Yeah.
whole different perspective of him.
Hmm I did
And
too.
mods, shout out to y'all for working tonight. We appreciate y'all. Hey, Purple.
I'm just
Thank y'all
trying
so much.
to find Pearl's video here. Damn it, where is it? Because when I
This
came
fool still
on,
hasn't learned to breathe.
it was in private.
Yeah, Lolita.
Huh?
If you could put it on subscribers.
Yeah, I'll do that quick.
I think it's funny because he's just
Do you need
showing
me to
all his
repost in
troll
the private
accounts.
chat?
No, when I come on, it
He can sub up with all his troll accounts if he wants
It,
to
Yeah.
spam the chat with BS.
when I come in with my laptop, I don't see anything that was in private chat prior to me being in.
I've
here.
reposted them
Oh,
for
she
you. Both
Thank
versions.
you. All right.
Hey, Tabby.
Certified.
Tabby here. Hey, Tabby.
Thank you, Ray Ray, for posting our second channel there. True Crime Circle.
Ray
We are
Ray's a
gonna
great mod.
we are gonna be doing more stuff on that real soon here.
Yeah.
So we do need to get some subscribers over there though.
While we're mentioning True Crime Circle, please keep Brandy Neal, all of her
Bye,
family,
Purple.
and
Enjoy your
especially
family.
Monkey in your prayers. We still don't know what's happening. Keep the hope alive, even if it seems so small at the moment.
Yes.
And that is where the Michael Vaughn video is at. Over there on True Crime Circle.
Until there are definite answers, there's still hope.
All right. I think we're ready. Night Kids version. And
You need to
Kathy's
make sure it's on the highest quality possible because there is slight pixelation issues with some of the older photos.
Okay. Let me see. How do we do that?
Hope that you guys are all ready to get to know Jim in a different way.
1080p.
Justice for All says, let's do this.
Yes.
I see you. It's like,
We're doing it.
okay, hey everyone, I missed. Sorry, I was on Troll Patrol. She couldn't even see the rest of the chat.
Yeah, Jim is not the man he was portrayed as. Nowhere even close to it. As you're about to find out here, Jim was generous. He was loving. His kids adored him. He adored his kids.
He has an amazing family.
He really does. He didn't have a controlling bone in his body.
He did, but for good reason.
For good reason. Yeah, kind of.
It wasn't
I would say
necessarily the
protective, not
controlling that's
controlling.
been
I would say
portrayed.
protective too. I wouldn't call it
Protective.
controlling. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. He's more protective. Yeah.
Right.
With good reason.
And I wanted to preface this. While we were chatting with Kathy, Ziggy was sending nasty text messages to Cindy, blaming her for the credit card, trying to discredit Kathy by attacking her character. Today, when Ziggy called Kathy's twin sister, she accused them and Kathy of trying to profit off of Jim's death. Nobody paid anybody for this. Our channel is not monetized. Kathy and Chrissy's channel is not monetized. Nothing about anything drama going on their channel. So this apology was bullshit. The apology was to, I guess, get out ahead of this being made public today. I
That's
don't know.
what it was. Yeah. It was to get ahead of what she knew was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knew it was coming.
I particularly found it absolutely bizarre that she declared today that she broke up with Jason after Jim died.
Yep.
So how
many times did she tell us that she wasn't with him?
Yep.
Quite a few.
Make it make sense.
But she's transparent, guys.
It's all starting to make sense now.
Yeah, and we might hear from Jason too because Jason's been hanging around.
Yes, Lana, that's what I just said. She broke up with Jason after Jim died. Now, if you don't see the bizarreness of that when you claim that somebody is your ex, when actually they're the ex before the ex.
No, we were told weeks ago, weeks before he died.
That's right. Talk shit for 3 hours, apologize for 3 minutes.
And laugh during the apology.
Well, and that's part of it. You know, she did talk a lot of shit. And yes, she made an apology video and she took those other videos down, but they're not gone. This is the internet.
No,
You
nothing's
can't
ever
unring
gone.
the bell. You can't take back the wound that you landed on children who were in grief. Children. I know that everybody is saying, oh, well, you know, if you spoke to my ex's family, blah, blah. Don't see it from the ex's point of view. This is a son, a brother, a father.
A mother.
Well, he's not a mother. Jim's not.
Oh, no. But I'm sorry. I apologize. I meant the mom heard about it. His mom heard about it too.
Yeah.
Heard about the things that were said.
They all did. They've all heard this and they're very, very upset.
That's a very good question, Kathy. She destroyed the baby.
Yes.
She did.
Apology.
She did. In fact, she called out 2 of the children specifically by name. I won't say their names, but she called them out and said awful things about them.
Sure did.
They're money hungry. They did this, they did that. No, none of that was true. None of it.
And I would
Okay.
like to say
Go ahead.
it's not true, but if it were true, a man can't spoil his children.
Right.
Why is he not allowed
I
to
spoil
spend
the
his
shit
money
out
on
of
his
my
children
kids.
if he wants to?
Yeah.
Apparently not if you're
Yeah.
dating Ziggy. You're not
Actually,
gonna do
that's
it.
his business. Your children are always your business. It doesn't matter how old they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hit play on this.
Okay.
Now this I wanted to kind of edit it to make sense, but I figured we'd just play it and then comment over or ask questions if we need clarification. There was 2 minutes removed of family personal stuff, and other than that, this was the second conversation with Kathy. So the questions that were being asked, we already knew the answers to. I didn't want to make it like an interview, but she did agree to sit down. She knew she was being recorded. She's right here in chat. Kathy, you agreed to be recorded, correct?
Correct.
We decided it was probably better to do it like this than an actual live stream. That way we can go back and remove anything you may want removed before we do go live.
Okay. Yeah. It's fine.
So, all right. Yeah, we're here mainly
No.
to clear
Yes.
your brother's name and to provide some clarity on basically a giant lie the whole internet has been fed over the last year. Do you want to say what your first name is and who your brother was?
Yes. I'm Kathy, and my brother was Jim. He was Ziggy's boyfriend for the last 9-10 years.
Okay. And how did you know how they met?
I'm not sure how they met. That I'm not clear on. I just remember him bringing her to my mom's house. I was living with my mom at the time. And I remember him bringing her over there, and that's when I met her. Now
Okay.
about 9 years ago.
All right. And she was in active addiction at the time, correct?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And she was
Yes.
using narcotic painkillers.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that was 9-10 years ago. They moved around a lot, didn't they?
Yes. They did, and they ended up settling in West Virginia. And he owned an apartment community out there. And he owned them and was managing them. And they were out there for probably the past 8 years or so.
Okay. And she was using off and on in West Virginia, and she had gone on medically assisted treatment, we'll call it.
Yes. I was in treatment at the time, and my brother came to me.
Was this when they were in West Virginia or when they first came back from West Virginia?
Well, they actually had moved there, or was moving there when I met her. So, cause they drove from West Virginia up to my mom's house. Yeah. So they were in West Virginia at the time.
Okay.
And, as a matter of fact, if I'm remembering this correctly, they came from West Virginia, because I remember they had to drive a long way to get to my mom. So they were probably in West Virginia. And, when I first met her, he was asking me where to, find pain pills for her. And I was like, I'm in recovery. I got really pissed about it at first. But I mean, he was just like, didn't know what to do. He went against his own principles, uh, for her. And finally, I told him, put her in a clinic. Do what I'm doing. I'm in medically assisted treatment. She can go into medically assisted treatment and get off of it altogether. And I mean, it'll be better for you because you don't agree with it. I mean, my brother's never took a drug in his life other than maybe smoked weed a handful of times that I know of. And, he went against everything, for her. And so that's what they did. He helped get her. I told him, I even helped him look up where to take her. So
yeah, you facilitated that whole thing.
oh
About
yeah,
how
because
long ago was that?
about 9 years ago when
Okay.
she got into treatment.
All right. And then when they first moved back, because we spoke the other night, and for the record, nobody is forcing you to speak, right? And none of us have reached out to you to ask you to speak. This was all facilitated through Teresa. Teresa was the one who put us all in touch.
Yes.
Okay. So now, the other night when you said they moved back to Indiana, how long ago was that?
About 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. Okay. So what was the situation then? Was she still in medically assisted treatment, or was she using?
As far as I know, she was still in medically assisted treatment. I didn't hear any different until recently.
Okay.
My brother, like I said, he was at my mom's house a few weeks before he died, and he was really upset. And that's when I heard about his suspicions.
Okay. So when was his first suspicion? First, let's rewind a bit. The daughter was being raised by her mother since she was probably a year or two, basically her whole life. When did she come back to live with your brother and her mother that you know?
Shortly after they got back from West Virginia.
Okay, so that would have been maybe last summer.
Yeah, sometime then. Yeah.
Okay, so she comes back last summer, and Ziggy starts her YouTube account September, October last year. So shortly after getting her daughter back. And what was the source of their tension in the house? Like, was Jim controlling?
He was not a controlling person. He did not have that type of personality. Jim was he was very outgoing, and I mean, controlling, absolutely not. I think if you want to get down to it, Adrian showed a little controlling tendencies because even when they were in West Virginia, there was a situation where my sister Christy asked him, he was in the hospital, he was hemorrhaging from a colonoscopy that was done, and he had been on blood thinners and he was bleeding a lot, from the colonoscopy. And she had been outside talking on the phone to my sister's ex-husband. Husband still. They're still married, but we don't know where he is or what he's doing. There's a warrant out on him because he beat my sister. And so she was on the phone out in the parking lot with him for about 3 hours, and Jim had talked to my sister, about how Adrian wasn't in there with him. And Christy's like, you should have called me. You should have told me that you were in the hospital. And he said, if I would have, Adrian would have gotten mad.
And she was on the phone with with your sister's abusive ex-husband or boyfriend.
Yeah. For like talking, listening to him talk crap about her while my brother's in the hospital, him hemorrhaging from the anus from a colonoscopy.
My God. And then shortly after that, she had tried to ask your sister was staying with them, and she tried to kick your sister out.
Well, no, my sister was renting an apartment from my brother.
Oh, okay.
And she lived in the same apartment community and was renting from my brother. And she was over at their house one day, and I guess Ziggy had believed the lies he had told her about my sister, and she had told my sister to get out. And my brother was like, yeah, that's my sister.
Yeah. And
So that situation happened, but I mean, I would say, why wouldn't he? Why? When I think controlling, I think that's kind of controlling if you feel like you can't tell your sister you're in the hospital and
yeah.
she's your only like blood relative other than your niece that's in West Virginia with you at the time.
Yeah. So
Because Christy would have been up there with him. Christy would have sat with him
in the hospital, and she didn't even know the whole time.
Yeah, she didn't know. And my brother's reason for not telling her was that Ziggy would get angry about it.
So let's fast forward to last year around this time. Her YouTube account becomes monetized, and she gets her first check, and she comes on, and this is where a lot of us get sucked into this whole thing. She's in an emotionally abusive relationship. He's a control freak, and she needs to move out. First she said that she needs she's $1,000 short to put a deposit on a house. So why did she want? What was the story on why she had to move out? She just got her daughter back, and
he was on her about sleeping all day long. For one, he didn't like that. There was probably tension, over the fact that she likes to sleep all day and she has her daughter there. And I'm sure there were arguments over that. And, her daughter, schooling, he was, I think there's tension over her being in school. I just think my brother was on her about certain responsibilities and they were weighing on her, like he was like, hey, you can't sleep all day. You can't do this, you shouldn't be doing that. And that was probably like, when you got somebody on you constantly about how you're living and you're not doing right, you kind of want to get away from it.
Right. So he just wanted her to be responsible.
Right. That's what I assume, because basically everything he told me a few weeks before he died was basically in response to the fact that he felt like she wasn't being very responsible when it came to her daughter.
Right.
For what she said about him on YouTube.
Jim was paying the bills, right?
And he was paying bills and helping her pay the bills. And he paid probably 75% or more of everything between two households,
Yeah. So, okay. So she moved out December, January. Do you know when he moved back in with her in the new house?
It wasn't long after that.
Like February, March, I think we figured out.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Right. So he was living there, paying the bills, while she was portraying to us that she had no assistance. Her YouTube funds have dwindled down because there was fallout about her content and her behavior, because a lot of people were pointing out behavior and they thought that maybe she was using and all this other stuff. So he was really there the whole time, paying everything.
Right. Yeah. Um, I'm sorry. Can you hang on for just one moment? We're expecting a pizza.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
For
So like February, March, he was back in the house with her, paying everything basically.
yes.
Okay, and who provided most of the care for the child?
I mean, the child was with Adrian, but monetarily, it was my brother.
So he took her places.
Oh yeah, he took her out to eat. He'd take her places with him. He did. He spent time with her.
So we go through March, April, May, June. She goes to Tennessee, and Jim goes on a cruise, and he comes back from Tennessee. And do you know how he discovered Jason?
I don't. I don't know how he discovered that, but it broke his heart. Again, he was hurt over that too. He just couldn't believe what was going on with that situation either, and the fact that she took her daughter along in, too. So that bothered him, because her daughter didn't even know
A stranger.
Yeah, is a stranger. And he was upset over that, He's like, if you're going to go meet somebody, don't take your daughter, that you barely know yourself. Don't take your daughter with you to do it,
Right. Sarah has a question here. She wants to know, was grandma raised Ziggy's daughter, right? Was she upset about Ziggy taking custody back?
That I don't know. I don't know her mother. I've never met her mother.
Jim was
So
the one who talked her into giving her back, correct?
I know Jim helped facilitate it. Yes.
Okay. So now we're told a story about Jim tracking her movements and all this other stuff. He's a stalker and he stalked her. So what was that all about?
That is just that totally pisses me off, because let me tell you, my brother wasn't a perfect person. He was narcissistic and a little superficial, but he wasn't like a stalker. This was all, he tracked her movements. That's not a lie. But he sat there and told us how he did it and why he was doing it at my mom's house that 2 weeks before he died. That was part of our conversation. And he told us that he didn't trust her, that he didn't trust that she was doing right by her daughter. He was worried about where they were going, what they were doing, and he suspected she was possibly using again. And that's all he said about it.
Yeah, so it wasn't to be a creepy stalker or that
No.
he had some kind of ownership. He felt responsible for the child, right?
Yes. He said if it would have been just Ziggy and the daughter wasn't involved, he actually sat and said, I could give two shits less what she does.
Right.
But don't take your daughter along to do it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all he cared about. He said she can do whatever the hell she wants to do. And he was worried and he wanted to make sure the child was okay. That's all.
Right.
He wanted to make sure she wasn't in. I mean, like, here's even my niece, okay, his eldest daughter, was said her name, but his eldest daughter, he tracked her movements too, making sure she wasn't in bad areas.
Right.
He wasn't being creepy, and she was an adult. If she was in a bad part of town, he'd be like, "Why are you in a bad part of town?"
Well, that sounds like like a family, like a child protection thing that he has on his phone account.
Yeah, he just kind of, yeah, my brother shows his love, and it's just a way of showing his love and his concern, and you know, his eldest daughter. Not his eldest daughter, his second eldest daughter. She even said, Dad tracked my movements, and he was just checking on me, making sure I was all right. She goes, at first I was a little teed off about it, but she said I got over it because I knew Dad meant well.
Yeah. So he was suspecting she was using a couple times within the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously,
Yeah.
he's been with her for almost a decade. He's seen her when she was using, he's seen her when she was clean. So, in your opinion, you would think that he would know.
Yeah, that, and with her smoking weed on YouTube with her daughter there in the background.
Yeah.
That appalled him. He was appalled by it. He's like, look, I've got nothing to say about anybody that wants to smoke, but be responsible when you're doing it.
Right.
Because it is getting legalized in in most states, and he didn't have anything, he's the same with drinking. If you're going to drink, do it responsibly.
Yeah.
It's not very responsible when it's illegal in our state to
Uh-huh.
do it on YouTube with your daughter there.
Right. But it's not even good to like smoke cigarettes in front of your kid either.
Right.
Or, be under the influence of alcohol. So, okay. So we get through the summer and she gets serious with Jason while Jim was still living there and paying all the bills. And at this point, it sounds like he doesn't give a shit what she's doing. He's only concerned about the child. So, and I realized a lot of this stuff he didn't even come clean to the family about until after the protection order was filed. Do you want to talk
Right.
about
He
that?
didn't tell us anything until 2 weeks before he died.
Wow.
And that's because he was so overwhelmed and so stressed out and so heartbroken that what else could he do but go to his mom to talk to her about it?
Right. So this protection order, has Jim ever had a history of being abusive with either of his ex-wives or children?
No. Like I said, he wasn't a perfect person, little superficial, little narcissistic, but not narcissistic in the bad way, narcissistic in the sense to where sometimes, he thought his shit didn't stink. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and he liked women to look womanly and dainty and pretty, and he'd get on me and my sister about I wouldn't dare wear open-toed shoes around him. He'd be on me about not having a pedicure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the type of superficial I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah. We're all a little narcissistic to some extent, though.
So, like, that's just how he was. But his biggest flaw was he might have cheated on his wives, but
Yes.
he never. That's why there was, irreconcilable differences because he couldn't stay faithful, but that was his only problem.
Yeah, so he wasn't abusive. And interestingly enough, typically when protection from abuse orders are filed in a domestic violence situation, the person filing is given a temporary order or sometimes even granted the full order. But in his situation, there was no order given. The courts looked at it and they said, no, if you want a protection order, you're going to have to come to court and show us evidence. So
Right.
he filed and he moved out, right?
Oh yeah, he left.
Okay, and so this was what, September?
Yes. I
This
think
year.
it's right before he moved into that trailer, as far as I understand.
Okay, so then since then, and she had moved on with another man. he had another girlfriend, right?
Yes, he was trying to move on.
So like they had no plans of getting married if he made it through the heart attack.
No, no, because he wasn't even conscious to say so. You know, he was.
Right.
He was like he couldn't say. That's what she was saying to him on his deathbed. But I mean, he never made any plans with her. He couldn't even speak. He had a tube down his throat. You know.
Yeah, so last anybody knew, I guess she was still hitting him up for money, but he did so out of obligation to the child, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he had
And so he did what he could. Like even the car she was driving that was his, he let her drive it because of her daughter. You know.
So she had no need to rent a car because I believe she was trying to get money as early as September. So he took the vehicles, but then he gave them back.
Yeah, he let her drive the van.
Yeah. Okay.
And she had a car of her own.
That's right.
She just didn't want to drive it.
Right. So, okay. So he, all right.
You know, they're all adults, so there's no one that was underage. So,
okay. So they were able to all figure it out.
Right. And that's what they did. They worked as a team, and they worked as a damn good team too, because those kids did their dad proud. And I know that they did. She was on YouTube. This is where I get fired up, is where she talked about them kids. Them kids did not deserve her getting on YouTube talking smack about them when they had just lost their father not even 24 hours before.
Right.
I mean, not even 24 hours. I mean, a whole day had not even passed by. And she's the very next day after his death on YouTube. And I think her, what was the title of it? Money's the root of all evil or something like that. Somebody told me. Somebody told me that was a title, and see, I won't watch her videos because I don't even want to give her my view.
All 5 minutes of it, and I think the rest of us too. We couldn't it was so beyond.
It was gross.
It was everybody. We were mad,
and so I was so angry about how she did those kids, because those kids didn't want his money. They didn't want his possessions. They were responsible for them. And they had to do what they had to do to make sure his funeral was paid for, that he had a nice service at least. And with his belongings, they weren't selling them. They were saying, okay, didn't want his money. And what money he did have had to go towards his funeral expenses. And whatever money was left over had to pay off whatever debts he owed. So those kids got nothing out of it. Nothing. They're lucky to get anything, and because and whatever they get, despite what Ziggy had to say, they deserve. Even if they got his money, they deserve it.
Right.
That's their dad.
They were with him their entire lives, not just 9 years, right?
Right. He raised all those kids with their mothers, even though he wasn't with their mothers physically, because he's divorced twice. He still helped raise those kids. And they all loved him immensely. And how she went after his youngest daughter, which is my niece, his one of the twins, how she went after her really got me fired up, because I mean, that girl was devastated to the point to where even at the hospital, even she was finding little corners of her own to go sit in because she just couldn't sit with people. She was so devastated. She was, kind of like couldn't deal. She was doing the best that she could.
Right. And when you lose somebody so suddenly like that, you're shell shocked. And she's in her early 20s, right?
Well, 26.
26. Yeah.
Mhm. So,
Still
I mean, she's only 5 years older than I was when I lost my dad. And I mean, I was devastated. And it took me years to get over my dad, and
right.
I mean, I don't remember being as like upset and I was very upset, of course, when my dad died, but I don't remember um isolating like that.
I wanted to ask, what was the question, Buttercup?
Oh, hi, how are you, Kathy? Just my question was the evening when Jim was in hospital, there was a part where Ziggy went live, and there was a lot of comments coming through, stating that they were the children. I just wanted to confirm, was it the children that were commenting that evening on? Sorry.
Okay, hang on. Can you ask that one more time? You kind of like fizzle.
Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, I can hear you. There's a little static, but I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, and it might be my accent also. I just wanted to know.
Oh, I can hear.
Okay. I just wanted to know the evening that Jim was in hospital. I think it was the day that Ziggy did visit him with little Ziggy during the day, and then that evening she went live. And while she was live, the supposed family was coming in, the children. So I just wanted to confirm, was it actually his children that were coming in commenting in that live? Yeah, in her chat.
No, I
Do
don't
you
think
know?
his kids did that.
Okay,
I
because
don't
there were
know, but I
quite a
doubt it.
okay, because there were quite a few comments, and we, being supportive that we were with her that night, we would kept on deleting it. But there was quite a few coming through as stating that they were with him at the hospital. So I wasn't sure. Were you allowed to be at the hospital, or was it limited as to who could be at the hospital, who could be with him?
Well, the first day they allowed all of us to be there.
Okay.
But then when other people started coming in, nieces, nephews, lots of nieces and nephews showed up. And once the crowd started, and then like Ziggy and her daughter showed up. And once it started getting bigger and bigger, everybody's going to have to leave. And us brothers and sisters of his were a little upset because we were like, hey, we're his siblings,
Exactly. Yeah, your blood.
And we were upset that we were made to leave, but the first day. Now the second day, they allowed siblings to be there, his children, our mother, and there was one family friend there that actually not really a family friend. He was Jim's friend from work was there. They were really good friends, and he was there, and he was a real comfort to everyone. And but the second day, we knew he was going to pass, and so they allowed us. The one nurse was so good because she said, if anybody gives you guys trouble about being here, you tell them to come talk to me.
Oh.
And
Okay.
she was really good to us because at this point we knew he just wasn't going to make it. I mean, he was not responding. His eyes were fixed and dilated, and he was not. They said we do not have him in a drug induced coma. He's on no like type of narcotics or anything. And they said that with the tube down his throat, when they suctioned him, with him being intubated, he should have showed a gag reflex, even being in that state. And there was no gag reflex. So he was basically gone, but on the machines. I mean, he had very little brain activity, I guess. That's what they were telling us. Or he would have gagged when they suctioned. But they couldn't get I mean, they checked all of his reflex. He had no reflexes or anything.
Can
So
I ask what the relationship was between your mother and Ziggy? Because during her life, she claimed to have a close relationship with her. Is
no,
that true? Okay.
no, it's not true. I mean, my mom is good to everyone.
Of course.
Everyone. And she is a very loving person, but she's not close to my mom like that. I mean, she caused my mom so much pain by what she did when she went live talking about her grandchildren and them trying to be money hungry and things of that nature. She hurt my mother deeply. I mean, my mom literally blocked her from calling her phone. I mean, Ziggy had to use somebody else's phone or a different phone number to even call my mom because my mom had her blocked on her cell phone, her actual phone number blocked. That's how upset my mother was. So, no, I mean, but even when she called from the other number, like I said before, my mom's a Christian woman. She said she told us all because everybody was upset that they even talked to her. She even talked to her, and she said, "I'm gonna tell you what. Jesus said not to forgive 7 times, but 77 times, and that's all I did was what the Lord asks of me." And she said, "I don't have to be close to her, and I don't want to be close to her." She said, "But I don't have to be mean to her, and I don't have to treat her bad." And she said, "And I would like to know what's going on with Caitlin's." Oh, sorry. Can you edit that out?
With little
I
Ziggy.
said,
It's okay.
she said, "I would like to know what's going on with little Ziggy from time to time."
Of
And
course.
she left it at that. She said, and so that's what she told, because everybody that got angry with her about it, that's how she put it to everyone. She was like, "Look, you can be angry, but this is how it is. I don't have to be mean to her to get, you know, I'm upset with her, yes, but I don't have to be mean and I don't have to be cruel."
Yeah.
And so, I wish a lot of people lived by the way my mom does, but my mom's an old schooler. She's a very Christian woman, and she just has her principles, and she sticks to them like to a T. Like she won't treat anybody with disrespect. She just won't do it, and whether they disrespected her or not, she blocked her from calling her. So obviously, she didn't feel very close to her. So
Right. She
Definitely.
probably didn't want to be bothered at all.
no, she didn't. And but her calling from another number, you know, she said, "When I answered the phone, I didn't have to be angry. I didn't have to treat her that way." And my mom is a very good person, and I just wish I'm pissed, and I don't mind saying I'm pissed, and it's going to take me a while. I'll eventually forgive her, I'm sure, because you know, if I want to be forgiven, I should forgive too, and I will. I will forgive her eventually, but I mean, right now I'm just angry. I just lost my brother. She talked all manners of things against his name, and then turns around after he dies and changes it to where we can be a family. If you get it, what she said to him on the recording, "When you get out of the hospital, we can be a family, we can do this, we can do that." It was too late for that. It was too late. You should have been doing it anyway. You shouldn't have treated him like shit. You shouldn't have put a restraining order against him.
knowing that man would never do anything to harm you or your daughter. You know, you should have never done any of those things. He wanted to marry her. He bought her a wedding ring. And then she starts seeing some other guy. He took that ring straight to the pawn shop. And he had every right to. And I'm glad he did it. And, you know, he washed his hands. And he started dating again, you know. He started to date again before he died. And he was happened to be with somebody else the night he died. And I'm happy that he did it. And I'm proud of him that he just didn't, you know, he wasn't the type of guy to sit around and stalk somebody. He's gonna move on. And he did. And he was.
Can I just ask, with that engagement ring, just to clarify, did she know that he took it, or he did that without her knowing?
He did it without her knowing.
Okay. It's just because she was looking for it the evening of when he was in the hospital. So I just wanted to just clarify if
But
she
why
was
did it
doing
mean
it.
something to her then?
Oh,
Right.
yes, definitely.
That's
Right.
what makes why?
She bought a spirit box unit
Oh gosh.
box to try to communicate with him after he had died on Cindy's credit card, mind you. She bought a spirit box on
Sorry,
Cindy's
Cindy.
credit card to ask Jim where the ring is. That is that not like the most grotesque thing you've ever heard?
It is. And my mom told her where it was. My mom told her to get to the pawn shop. So I don't know why she's on YouTube asking him where that is. My mom told her.
Yeah, she even asked a mermaid psychic.
Yeah, she did.
But
Didn't
the
she
psychic
say-
didn't say it was in the pawn shop. Oh, my niece I talked to earlier tonight. She said she saw that episode and she said she was laughing the whole time saying, "It's in the pawn shop."
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she
No,
said
we
she
need
sat
a
and
laugh.
laughed at the TV the whole time. It's in the pawn shop. Check the pawn shop. She goes, I bet you the psychic's not going to tell her that.
I bet she didn't.
So, I
goodness.
mean, she got tickled over that. I laughed when she told me because, I mean, that was just a little funny. And I
Yeah.
said, but my mom told her it was in the pawn shop.
Wow.
I mean, I know my mom didn't. My mom told me she told her.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, she's I just don't want her to take advantage of anyone else. I mean, the truth is the truth. You know, the truth will set you free.
Yeah.
And you know,
Definitely.
the way she did those kids and after their dad died was disgusting. And that's why I'm so angry. And I'm angry over the fact that, you know, what she said against my brother's name before that he was a stalker and this and that and abusive. He is never he's never had he does not have an arrest record that has a violent crime on it ever. Hell, I think he's maybe been arrested once for child support. Like
Right, and that doesn't even like really count. That's kind of just like a civil type of thing too. Yeah, so do you want to talk about the trolling you have experienced?
Yes, the trolling.
And this is since when? When did this start?
Started after I the day after I blocked Adrian.
Okay, and that was after she went live.
Yes, after she
About
went live, I blocked her.
Okay, when she went live about the kids taking the vehicles. Is that the one?
Yes.
Okay.
I blocked her on that one because I couldn't anymore. I didn't even want to talk to her anymore after that video. And it's not that I watched the video, it's that I seen excerpts of what other people showed me on their phones or devices because like I said, I'm not giving her my view. I just
Good
won't
for
do
you.
it. Not on my tablet or my phone. I'm not looking at your video on my tablet or phone. You're not going to get my view. I don't want to see it. I'll look at it from somebody else's, but I'm not looking at it on mine. I'm not giving it
Right.
to you.
So when you blocked her, what started happening after you blocked her?
I got messages to unblock. One
From
message
who?
asked me to unblock. Other messages were check your messenger. Like I got messages on like Facebook comments telling me to check my Facebook Messenger. And I checked my Facebook Messenger, but I wouldn't see anything. But I guess there's a spam folder, and I found a lot of stuff in the spam folder. And so I got stuff like one time somebody wrote, "Your family should be ashamed of themselves the way they treated her after your brother died."
And these are from strangers.
From strangers. I don't know who it was that sent me that, but I deleted it. I delete. I didn't want to see it, didn't want to hear it, didn't want to engage it. This is like early on in my grief. I wish, hindsight being 2020, I would have saved those messages, but I didn't. I wish I had now, because I'd post them and show people everything that was going on. But
Yeah, so she either created fake accounts or had people calling and messaging you on her behalf.
well, somebody made a fake account in my name and was messaging on her YouTube as me. I don't know who did that, but somebody did.
That's crazy. And we know your real YouTube account. It's not your name,
No, it's not. It's not my name.
to be clear, so everybody knows. And people, were they harassing Jim's kids too?
Yes, especially the 26-year-old twin.
The youngest.
The youngest, his youngest daughter. And it made her grief a million times worse, and she did not deserve that.
And everybody knew her name because her name
They
was
knew her name because she said it on YouTube. She said my nephew's name too. He's got a family, and he's got 3 kids and 1 on the way. He's a family man.
Oh.
He doesn't need his business out there either.
Right. Yeah, because people are crazy on the internet. So random people were contacting you on her behalf, or she was doing it under fake accounts, either one. But after sudden loss of Jim's passing was devastating to the whole family. Then you have her going live, adding to that, and now you're being harassed on social media.
Yes.
On top
Right
of it,
after he died, I mean, being harassed. And that was, I mean, all I could do was sit and delete every comment, because sometimes I wouldn't even read them. I would just read like a portion and see that it was a troll and just delete it. Like I couldn't even finish reading them. Like, I maybe got half a dozen messages and fake accounts made in my name, and I'm just over it. I don't know everything that happened to my niece other than the fact that people were actually calling her phone, and they had to get law enforcement involved because, I mean, they're calling her private phone. I don't know if they were calling her Facebook Messenger or calling her actual phone number, but I know they had to get law enforcement involved and file a report.
that's insanity.
Yeah, she was being harassed big time. And that girl, let me tell you, his youngest daughter, she took his death hard. I mean, super hard. Like, that girl was devastated. And for people to do her the way they did her after he died, not even 24 to 48 hours after, it was disgusting how they treated that girl.
Yeah,
How they
that's
treated our family,
unimaginable.
our whole family. I mean, my mom blocked all her stuff. Thank goodness no one knows my mom's real name, or they would have found, I'm sure they would have found her on Facebook. But nobody knows my mom's name, so they don't. She didn't get trolled, and I'm so glad for that.
God, right?
And thank goodness she never said my mom's name on YouTube, or she probably would have got trolled. I'm grateful for that too. That's one thing I'm glad Ziggy didn't do, is say my mom's name like she did the kids. She had no business telling people their real names. No business at all.
Well, no business going live, period, because she wasn't entitled to anything. They weren't
Exactly.
even,
Those kids didn't deserve that. They
they weren't
didn't. They just
married.
loved
They
their dad.
weren't together. She was entitled to absolutely nothing at all.
Exactly. She was not entitled to anything of his.
And
And you know, the kids were actually,
that's what I was going to ask.
Before she showed her ass, showed her shit on Facebook, and before that video, she was going to be invited to the funeral. They were going to invite her and let her bring her daughter so her daughter could say goodbye. But after she went live on YouTube, oh no, that was X'd out. She couldn't come then. I mean, we had people looking out for her to show up. If she showed up, she'd have been escorted right out. And I'm glad she didn't show up, because that would have been terrible for Kate. I mean, for little Ziggy.
Right.
So,
yeah, 'cause she's the one, suffering as well, because that was, a parental figure.
oh, she was devastated. Her daughter was so sad, and it broke my heart. I felt so bad for her. Oh, I mean, and just let it be known, our family does very much feel sympathy for little Ziggy not being able to say goodbye. We all really do. And we all feel terrible over it and really wish she could have said goodbye. And I mean, we've all talked about it, and we all feel really bad about what happened, and really wish that could have happened for her. We all really do. I mean, because she didn't deserve not to be able to go. She really didn't. She should have been able to go to say goodbye. Actually, we even kind of talked amongst ourselves about, well, maybe we could ask Ziggy if we could maybe pick her up and take her and then bring her back to Ziggy. And then we'd have to deal with Ziggy too. And then, our grief is so fresh, we just didn't want to put that on anyone, so we just left that situation alone. But we thought about it.
Right. And you also, the kids wanted to let her use the van, right? Like
Oh yeah, I mean, they would have probably let her use it, if she hadn't have showed herself on YouTube. But they did get that advice that they shouldn't. So,
yeah,
it-
just so the estate couldn't be sued.
yeah, it was a good thing that they got it back. And they knocked on her door. I'm like loud police knocks. She had to have heard that door. There's no way she didn't. They knocked for 15 minutes, like loudly.
Wow.
And
She claimed on her live that she was sleeping, she didn't hear them, and then she went and looked at her cameras and saw them in her cameras, but she didn't put it on her channel. She just advised everyone.
well, I think, if she was asleep, I mean, she's a very hard sleeper, because they knock super loud.
Of
Like
course.
police, like my nephew's a police officer. It's those police knocks, knock, 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 knock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to give her a chance to give them the key and do it like peacefully, get the key from her, take the car, talk to her for a minute. They were trying
And
to
you
be
can't
civil and decent.
Yeah, and you can confirm that she did go and she took the other car. So
Oh
the
yeah.
kids gave her the other car.
Yeah, I think she even put that on YouTube. Somebody told me.
How
Yeah,
did she take that car? Did she drive it?
yeah, she
Or did
drove
she
it.
tow it?
She drove it off.
Oh, because I heard her say that she didn't even have a key to it. So
She got
that
in
would
it
be
and
hard
drove
for her to
off.
drive it off if she didn't have a key, correct?
Well, if she didn't have a key, My nephew made sure that she did. He probably put it in her glove box or something for her. 'Cause
I
she
mean,
drove off
she
in
wouldn't
it.
have been able to drive it if she didn't have a key.
Right.
So,
She drove off in it. So if
okay.
she
I
didn't
just wanted
physically
to.
have the key, his kids made sure she had a way to get it.
Right.
And it was drivable, like it wasn't broken down. There was, I
No, it
mean,
wasn't
minor
broken down.
stuff wrong with it.
She could drive it. I mean, it wasn't in the best shape, but it was drivable.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
was nothing.
she would have been a lot better. See, if I'd have been in her situation and I would have got blessed with a credit card like that, right? And I already had my own car, I would take it to the shop, find out how much it costs to fix. I'd call the person permission to use the card and say, hey, this is the estimate. What do you think? You know, and get
Mhm.
my own car fixed. I wouldn't just take that card and do whatever I wanted to do with it. You know, one, it didn't belong to her. And two, she showed absolutely no respect for the fact that she was blessed with someone to even help her in that way to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that just makes me sick. And it's all in the name of I don't have a car. They took my car. The car I have doesn't run. I need, feel sorry for me. Nobody, I just wish I really feel bad for the fact that that happened. That in itself makes me feel so bad.
I think we
You
all
know,
share your thoughts on that.
I mean, she should have just fixed, got an estimate on how much it costs to fix that car and then ask permission to get it fixed for whatever amount they agreed on and leave
That's
it
what
alone
most grown-ups
and not
would
go out
do.
and spend, you know what I'm saying? And go get a new car and because she wants to be bougie, have the best. You can't have the best when you don't have income coming in on a regular basis, and the only thing you're depending on is YouTube, and then you screw over your subscribers, and then they don't want to give to you anymore, and you got a daughter to take care of. You don't do that. You treat your subscribers with this respect that they deserve, and you do your channel right, and you keep your income coming in so you can properly take care of your child. You don't go and you lie on people and you treat people with disrespect your subscribers, disrespect the man that you were supposed to love but treated like shit when he was alive, and then turn around and love when he's dead, and feel sorry for me because he's dead and his family's treating me like crap, and I don't have it and I need it and feel sorry for me. That just really, really angers me. I don't want her to make another dollar on my brother's death. Not one more cent. She can stop her shit
Understandable.
now because I'm just here to tell it. Don't feed in to her shit about my brother anymore because it's bullshit.
Right. And your brother was loved and well respected in
Yes,
the
he
community.
was. In the
Every picture,
community too. I
every
mean, he was.
picture I've seen, people they have their arms around him. Somebody is hanging off this man.
Mhm.
And his funeral. Can you tell us about his elaborate service? This is really cool.
Oh man, he worked for Indigo bus station.
Mhm.
He did maintenance for them. And Indigo brought our city bus for our city up to the funeral home, parked it, and had in memory of James Ellis going across the screen. And then for 5 minutes, all the city buses in Indianapolis pulled over for 5 minutes while they retired his employee number.
That is freaking cool because you
That's
only hear
amazing.
about this stuff like with police officers, right? But this man was so loved
Yeah,
by everyone.
his boss was there. His boss from Indigo was there. The man that hired him was there. I got to meet him. I got to meet the people he worked with. They were there. They parked the Harley he had in the funeral home. That was really cool. Yeah, I mean, there was wall to wall people. I mean, literally, there were so many people there. Like, there were even people standing up in the back because the seats were filled.
Oh my God.
And there was a lot
Wow.
of seating there too. I mean, there were people standing up in the back even. So it was, he was very much loved by a lot of people. I mean, he had a lot of friends, and I mean, half the people he knew. I mean, he knew so many people. I mean, half of them probably didn't even realize he was gone because you just can't contact that many people. You know, so many.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did
he went out to eat all the time. He talked to the waitresses. He never liked to. He wasn't the type of person. He liked to go out and meet people and talk to people and joke and jive with them and tease them and get to know them. And he liked to run around and do things. And he was a really fun, loving, free spirit. He just really was.
That's what I was about to ask you. Was he a real outgoing
Oh
person?
yeah.
Sounds
He
like he
never
was.
met a stranger. Never. He'd meet you, and I mean, he never met a stranger. I mean, he would talk to anyone. Anyone. Yep. Yep. My boyfriend was even saying that, he'd always say, you're just part of the family, even in friends, he'd claim them as family. You're just part
Yeah.
of our family. And that's how our family is. We take my mom, she's mom to everyone. And I mean, she takes in a lot of strays. So, I mean, our family is huge. And my brother is the same as my mom that way, When he got to know you, you were his friend for life, as long as you never did him wrong, you do him wrong, you like, screw me once, shame on you. Do me twice, shame on me. Sometimes the people you love the most is the ones that hurt you the most.
Yeah. And as awful as this entire thing has been, and even with her, when you look over the past year, like all the freaking damage she caused, and even calling out this whole thing with Cindy's credit card, this was all done in private. Okay.
Right.
I simply sent her a text message that said, I'm not pissed about, you, because she thought we were mad because she reconciled with another YouTuber who destroyed her YouTube career. I said, we're not mad about that. We're mad about what you did to Cindy. We know the truth. Cindy told us the truth. How in the world are you going to pay this credit card back, plus a car payment, plus insurance, your rent, all your bills, with no income? You've done this for a year. You haven't made any progress. In fact, you're worse. I think it's time to wrap it up and get a job. That's all I said. And
yeah, it is time for that.
She made this all public. She flipped her shit, lost her shit. And now she's going to lose her shit even more because, I mean, people are going to hear the truth right from the horse's mouth, right from people who know her and know Jim.
Yeah.
And she can't continue the lie anymore. And eventually his kids may even speak out. I know he said they're beside themselves and there's no way they could do it without crying. And
yeah, my niece said
completely
she would
losing
do it, but she's too emotional right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not going to get any better. But as awful as this whole thing was, it made us cross paths with some of the most incredible people. Like, there have been people that we've been fighting with for a year because we were defending her bad actions that now are, in our circle, and, we've befriended. And now, like, even like speaking with you, Cindy just typed in the private chat, like, I love this lady, like, your family seems so cool, and his kids have all done extremely well for themselves. That,
Yes,
if there's
his
any
children are all successful, all of
if
them.
there's any silver lining to any of this, I guess it's the paths that were crossed in the
Exactly,
burning
and I'm
down.
grateful that I get to meet all of you guys too, and at least get the truth out, and so nobody else can be taken advantage of. You know, I really, really wish that this never happened. That she would have been more
Same.
grown up about things and had not gone on YouTube being so disgusting and treating his children the way that she did hours after they lost their father. I mean, they did what they had to do, and they had to protect his estate, and that's what they did. Everything they did for him and for his legacy and his memory, and they did the best that they could with what they were working with. They none of them fought, none of them argued about anything. They did what they had to do as a group, and that just shows you right there how loving and his children are for one another, and how loyal they are to one another, and how loyal our family is to each other, because we're a very loving family group, and we would never let anyone put each other out there like that, you know.
Right.
I'm
Right.
I'm in a better position to say something, even though I'm angry. I'm in a better position to say something because the kids just can't do it right now. They just
Right.
can't.
And this isn't about revenge. Nobody's,
No,
trying to
no.
make anybody look bad. This is about closure for you and clearing his name.
Right. Jim. That's the thing why I'm here, is to make it known that he was no abuser, and he was no, and I was gonna say he was nobody's fool, but I tell you, he was Adrian's fool.
Mhm.
And he would admit that himself. And he did for her, and in the end he did for her because of the daughter. He was,
Yeah.
you can't really, the way he was probably looking at it, it didn't make him one way or the other, taking her a case of pop, or um why he brought food for the daughter or whatever. It didn't probably make him one way or the other. He's just a nice guy. And he did it, to be loving, and he did it to be kind,
He did
because
it out of
that's what
love.
he was raised. Yes, he was raised to be that way. He wasn't raised to be malicious or mean, because if he was, he would have withheld those things from her, and he didn't.
Right.
Even though she treated him badly, he was still doing for her. I mean, but he was trying to move on. He was. And unfortunately, he died before he got a chance to get to know whoever it was he was starting to date. And I feel bad for whoever he was starting to date, because she missed out on a really good man because of that.
Yeah, and imagine how traumatic that would be to just spend the night with somebody and then they're all of a sudden unresponsive and you're panicking and
Yeah, I feel
you
so
don't know
bad
what
for
to
her.
do. Yeah, yeah. And she missed out on a really great guy.
Yeah, she did. And but she tried to save him. she worked on him until they got there. So, I mean, she did what she could, and I thank her for that. Who, I don't know her
Yeah,
name. She's kind of wants to remain anonymous, which is okay with
of
me.
course. Yeah.
I don't mind that at all. But
Yeah, she's
whoever
probably
she
going
is,
through a
thank
tough
her.
time also.
She talked to his kids, I think, and those kids know who she is, but I don't know who she is. They're just kind of keeping who she is, kind of
Yeah,
to
yeah.
themselves, because that's very traumatic. You spend the night with someone, you kind of don't want your name out there like that, and
Especially,
then
I cannot
they're dead the next day.
not imagine waking up and and no, no, no.
She
Like,
said she got up and went into the restroom and came out, and he was purple.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine just going to the bathroom and coming out and finding the person that I'm dating purple and unresponsive, and I have to get CPR until somebody gets here because I feel really bad for that girl. I don't know,
Right.
but I thank her though. Whoever she is, she tried to save me.
Oh, another thing I just remembered too. Jim was an organ donor, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And he was passionate about certain charities that he's fundraised for.
Yes, Riley Hospital for Children and the Indiana Donor Society. My daughter has been on dialysis since she was a teenager, and she had gotten a transplant, and it didn't take, and she got very, 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 very sick with it. And now my daughter doesn't want a transplant. She decided against another transplant. She's fine with just living her life on dialysis until she can't do it anymore. But he was passionate because of what my daughter went through,
Yeah.
and then what we have other family members that had been in and out of Riley, and my sister's daughter has epilepsy and was a Riley patient, and
And he did poker runs with his Harley, right?
yes, he did a run. And then my sister, my oldest sister, and her daughter were in an apartment fire, and my niece and nephew, who was 2 and 4 at the time, passed away.
Oh my
The
God.
youngest two, and my my second eldest niece, my sister's daughter, was in and out of Riley with burns her whole life. She even has a tracheotomy to this day from that fire.
Wow.
So, and my sister, they both suffered burns over, I want to see at least half of their bodies. So, and my niece, a little more than half, I think. She has them all over her belly and on the side of her face and her back and things. And my sister, I think my sister was like 40 something% of her body was burned. And
Oh my God.
so, I mean, he was just passionate about it. Riley Hospital has been in our family's life since the fire back in 1993. So, I mean, he was really passionate about Riley. Riley's been a big part of our whole family's life.
Yeah, and I actually spoke with everyone about this. Cindy and her husband ride bike too, and I said how cool would it be like in the springtime to organize for everybody who listens to us in the different states who ride, to organize some kind of charity ride in Jim's memory, and like they can just send their entry fees right to the hospital like as a fundraiser. That would be cute.
Yeah, that would be amazing. He would absolutely love that. And he has 2 sons that love riding motorcycles and I'm sure would love to join in on that too. I mean, and ride for Riley in their dad's memory.
Yeah, to kind of keep his memory going there.
That would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, he loved to ride motorcycles. Him and his sons just recently went on a trip on their motorcycles and had a really wonderful time together, and I'm glad they did that because that's memories they'll always have with their dad doing something.
Everybody's always talked to me about how much they love him. Even both of his ex-wives were at the funeral, and both of them were devastated.
See, that says a lot about who he was.
They both were there, and they both were in tears. They both loved him still. It wasn't that he couldn't, it wasn't he just couldn't stay faithful. That was his biggest flaw. And I don't think he cheated on Adrian. And the sad thing is she's probably the first person he was faithful to. And it ended this way. And that's what's really sad. I've never heard of him cheating on her. I've never heard her complain about it. Because I don't think he did.
When they were broken up, I know she said she found a card, for a Valentine's Day card, either that he got for some other girl or some other girl gave to him, but I don't think they were quote unquote back together yet. But she claims like the entire time he was living with her, she still referred to him as her ex, which I always found strange.
Wow, that is strange.
But then she lied, like nobody knew he was even there. She made it sound like he wasn't living there. And then over the summer, I think it was like August or September, she finally had to admit to people that he was living there. And it was tough to date Jason because she couldn't bring Jason there. Like she was trying to hide Jason from him. So like she was making Jim think that they were back together, but she was cheating on him with Jason.
Yeah, that really hit him hard too. He was heartbroken, and he was not just heartbroken about that. I mean, just the whole restraining order and abuse situation. And I mean, he went to his mom, his mother. I mean, he's 59 years old, and he's going to his mom to cry to his mother about it because he's so stressed out. That wasn't my brother. My brother didn't just do that. He had to have been at his wit's end to do that.
Right. Oh, Pearl said in private chat, grief is a long road. The stronger you love, the stronger the pain. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the pain is immense. And she made our pain so much worse by having all that bullshit come down on us like that.
You're right. No, that was so unnecessary.
It was unnecessary. She had no reason to go after those kids. Those kids did nothing to her. Nothing. They didn't even say anything when she came to the hospital with her daughter that day. They let her in there to see him and everything. They weren't happy with her, but they did. They were cordial to her. If she would have never went on YouTube, she would have even been at the funeral. But she had to do what she did, and that's on her. And all this backlash everybody and all this hurt everybody feels, it's her fault. She needs to stand up and take responsibility for her bullshit and her lies. She's the one who needs to take responsibility now. Those kids did nothing to deserve any of it. I'm really angry about how she did my nieces and nephews. That there was just no reason for it whatsoever.
So is most of YouTube, and the people in the community, they were disgusted. They're still disgusted. Please, 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 please tell his children and his other siblings, the jerks, send their love to everyone, and we will do everything in our power to try to protect his good name and the family's name and reputations.
Yes, we really appreciate that. And I think my niece thought this may be a good thing because when I told her, she was like, do it. So
Yeah, and it's not, Ziggy's gonna come on and paint it like it's some kind of revenge thing, but it's not.
There's no revenge. There's
That's
no revenge.
like so bottom on the list. It's justice for what she's done to all these people. She's destroyed.
It's justice for subscribers who've been burned like Cindy. Cindy was burned so beyond. I mean, that really enrages me how burned she got.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you take advantage of somebody that's willing to bless you that way? I mean, how disgusting are you?
Yeah. And then, Jim, what she did to Jim, what she did to his kids, like,
yes.
I think about, that the youngest daughter, how you said how, at the funeral or whatever, at the church, she went off and just sat by herself. And
yeah, at the hospital too. Hospital. She's sitting in a corner all by herself.
And she's just resistant to anybody trying to comfort her. And just knowing that, this was all made worse by the very person who destroyed Jim.
Yeah. I can't believe the things she said about him on YouTube. It gets me. I'd sit and watch it but I'm not giving her my view, so I'd have to watch it on somebody else's.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. It's awful. It's ugly. It's horrible. I wasn't a family member, and I couldn't stand to watch it. Please don't put yourself through that. Please don't watch it.
Okay, I won't. I mean, I trust you. If you say it's that bad, I don't want to watch it.
It's bad. I had to leave. I could not. I mean, the screaming, if that wasn't bad enough, because my son is the same age as his youngest daughter. My oldest is, and I'm thinking of like my kids in that situation where if I were to die and then, somebody who claimed to love me went on the internet and just
bashed you.
Yeah.
Or bashed you in real life, before you're dead, and then after you're dead claims to love you to death.
Yeah,
right. She even said in her thing to Jim, because we told her not to come to the hospital because the next day, because it was just the kids and me and the brothers and sisters and my mom and stuff, right? So my sister was like, well, don't come, just send me a recording and I'll play it for Jim. So she did, and she's telling Jim that he's her hero, he's Caitlin's hero, she'll always love him forever, all kinds of stuff. It blows my mind that she said what she said about him and did what she did to his children, and she should not expect me to stay silent, because if anybody in my family knows me, and my family knows me well, you piss me off, I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm just ready to tell her about it.
Well, here's the thing. She didn't stay silent. She went out there and she screamed and yelled and ranted and raged on several lives.
Yes,
Why
and
are you
then
sitting
took
quiet?
advantage of people.
She did.
That kills me. Why are you making money off my brother's death and then burning people? You are misrepresenting yourself in my brother's name. That's gross. And then just taking advantage of somebody anyway that totally blessed you completely makes me sick anyways. That's just on a whole other level. To me, I couldn't imagine doing somebody that way. I would be so ashamed.
As we speak, she's sending Cindy harassing text messages and voice messages.
Are you serious?
Calling her
I'm very
name?
serious.
Cindy, can you unmute your microphone and talk to Kathy and tell her what she's saying to you right now? The spending. It's like she's hearing this whole life.
Yes. I mean, unbelievable.
There's no possible way.
Well, I don't know. It's all about Kathy, and she didn't know her, and just all kind of stuff. I mean, it's just weird. First I told her to get her car fixed to see, what's wrong with it. I never expected that credit card to reach $7,500 in 2 weeks or less, or maybe a little bit more. Never in a million years. It has affected my credit score. And then I sent her an extra $300 because she couldn't get any more money off of the credit card. So I sent her another $300 personally from me. I mean, $7,800 in less than,
Let me tell you
a couple
something.
of weeks just blows my mind. Of course I'm going to be upset.
Of course
Of
you
course
are.
I am. Because I don't
Yes.
abuse my cards like this. I
Right.
mean, I gave her my name, my address, my social security number. I gave it all to her. I loved her. I trusted her. But after I saw the abuse, yeah, I'm worried. I mean, this is my livelihood too. This is my credit. Whom, we're also getting ready to, I mean, we're looking for homes by the beach and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It just, I was stupid.
blessed her, and she should not have taken advantage, and that's what she did. You trusted her. It's not really, I wouldn't blame yourself or say you're stupid. You did a very Christian loving thing for someone, and she's the one that took advantage.
I just thought that she would be more, knowing that Jim's gone and can't help her anymore. I just thought she would have more common sense to watch, you know what I mean? Where the money went, pay your rent until you can get back on your feet. Get your car fixed. I mean, I didn't want them homeless. I didn't want them without a car because in case little Ziggy needed to go to the doctors or the hospital or whatever, God forbid.
Right.
But when I said use the card like you want, just make the payments, my God, I didn't think that it was going to be up to the limit like that on stupid shit. Go to the
Yeah.
grocery store, yeah, if you need to use the card to go to the grocery store, do that. But cook. Don't do DoorDash every freaking day. And
Yeah,
what? I'm
that's
sorry.
ridiculous.
You know what? She hates me, and that's okay. I just made a payment of $200, and so be it. A hard lesson to learn. So that's my
Well,
fault.
you were a saint for doing what you did, and God bless you for what you did. It'll
Well, I
come
don't feel
back.
very blessed.
It'll come back on you, honey.
You
You might not feel blessed now, but it'll come back tenfold eventually. You'll be blessed somehow, some way.
You probably won't
I
be
have
blessed by Ziggy, but you'll be
no.
blessed.
No, it won't be blessed by her, but somebody else I'm sure will bless you. Something may happen really wonderful to
Oh,
you
it
sometime.
has. I mean,
And
I'm a very fortunate person, and I am. But I've lost friends, acquaintances through all this also, and people talking bad about me, and they just don't get it because it's not about them. It wasn't them that gave the credit card; it was me.
right,
And
exactly.
they,
Right.
and they want to question. Well, you gave her the credit card. Was there any stipulations or what? You know what, people? Common freaking sense.
Right.
That's what I was saying. I mean, if
Hello.
somebody gave me their credit card and said, spend it like you
I
will,
mean, I definitely wouldn't abuse
I
it.
still would call that person and say, well, I took my car to the shop and this is the estimate. What do you think? I would ask. I would still ask and be like, well, what do you think? I mean, do you think it's worth fixing? Do you think I'd be better off doing this? I
Right.
mean, because if somebody blessed me, I would want their opinion on how to spend this money.
You
I
know,
don't want to just blow
No.
it on
No.
what the fuck ever.
No. And I even said to her, if we lived closer, Larry could fix it. For those of you that want to, put my shoes on, just put them on for a freaking day. Yes, this keeps me awake. This worries me. It does worry
Good.
me.
Yeah. I'd be worried
Because
too.
I was also told that she'll pay it off as soon as possible. Well, $75 a month just don't cut it.
It'll take
And it
10
don't.
years.
You know what? For the rest of my life, even if I live 10 years, okay, this credit card, will still have a balance on it. And when I said to her, when I die, you don't have to pay it. Yeah, you know what? That was all in jest.
Yeah.
I mean, don't leave, my significant other and my children with all this bullshit. My kids don't even have a clue that I'm even on YouTube. None.
Right.
None. So, but Ziggy has all my information. She's got my social security card, the number. She's got it all. So, but I just did LifeLock today, which I thought I really needed to, and I will get a notification, I guess, if somebody tries to look at my credit and all that other BS. Just crazy.
That's good. I'm glad you did that. You need to protect your credit.
And guess what? And that's costing me more money monthly.
Yeah. It does cost money to do that. I somebody stole my identity once and I had to do it, and
it's a freaking nightmare. It's a
was
freaking nightmare
for me.
All of this is, and then she wants to turn around and blame it on me. It's all my fault. No, I saw the post. It wasn't about you because I talked to Lady CG and I told her what had happened between me and you. Yep, I did it. Okay, yes, I did it. And then I talked to the rest of the ladies. So it wasn't about you in the beginning, and I don't give a flying you-know-what. Who believes that?
If the shoe fits, lace that bitch up and wear it.
Exactly.
It turned
Exactly.
out that Ziggy was a bigger target than the original person.
Amen. Yeah, because the girls didn't even know anything because I didn't say anything. And then after you talk to Lady CG and she tells you, then you go live in the middle of the night and get my name out.
Yeah, and all I said to her, I will read you here. Actually, I know I can't share my screen. I have to get back on my laptop to do that. But no, I told you what I said is Cindy told us the truth. This is not working out. You need to get a job. How are you going to pay this back? Because not only does she have to pay the credit card back, she now has a car payment to pay, right?
Well, you know what? She
insurance.
She hasn't made a payment yet. So, and even if it's not due, okay, it was $7,400, $7,498 was the balance of a $7,500 credit card. I mean, I don't get my bills up like that. I don't. So I just made a $200 payment myself. So,
and we pay everything before they're due. Like, you don't wait
Amen.
until the due date because you pay after that. Because sometimes it takes a while to process. Like, you pay
that's true.
on Tuesday
Amen.
and it doesn't come out until
we don't
Saturday.
We don't ever wait. No, we don't ever wait last minute. If a bill comes in the mail, it swipes it for a couple days, a week, and then it's paid.
And then the late fees get tacked on, and
so it's just sad. All of this is just sad.
It is sad. I'm sorry that happened to you, Cindy. I'm so sorry.
Well, you know what? A hard lesson learned. It is what it is.
I just hope what I have to say and what I have to say makes it to where it doesn't happen. Nobody else gets burned again.
Yep.
I just really hope I can help make that happen, And I don't care about what she says that I didn't know her. Let me tell you what. I knew her in the beginning, and I might not have talked to her on a regular basis while she was with my brother, but I did talk to her over the last 10 years. And I know what my brother had to say about her. And I know
helped find pills for this woman.
I did. And I helped get her into a clinic. I facilitated that too.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I know.
You know enough about her, don't you?
I know enough, and I know what she did in the end was some bullshit, and I knew that she wasn't always good to Jim, and I know what happened when he was hemorrhaging at the hospital, and how she sat in the car talking to my sister's abusive husband on the phone while Jim was at the hospital, and my sister asking Jim later on, why didn't you tell me you were in the hospital? I would have been there. Oh, Adrian would have got mad if I'd have told you. Now, who sounds like the controlling one? Why would she
Right.
be mad? You're its family.
Absolutely.
The only blood relative other than your niece, his niece, which was my sister's daughter in West Virginia at the time, living next door to him. The only blood relative in the state at the time. You know,
Yeah.
why
It's
would
sick.
she get mad? That's what I want to know.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's like she wanted to cut him off from his family.
You know, I was like, why would she be mad if you knew he was in the hospital? I mean, why would Jim even say he said it for a reason?
Yeah.
I mean, how's he just not? He's not just gonna say that just to say it. He said, no, if I'd have said anything, Adrian would have got mad. He said, I'm all right. You know, but this was after the fact. He was all right. I mean, but while he was going through it, she was in the parking lot on the telephone. She wasn't in the hospital with him.
Wow.
Yeah. Talking shit to an abuser.
So, you know, yeah. And, you know, he has a warrant out on him and everything for how he did my sister. And I mean, he beat her up this last time. And I mean, you know, he took a gun. This is how bad he was. There was a rifle. His buddy just came back from hunting, and he was intoxicated, and he picked up his buddy's rifle, pointed it at my sister, and pulled the trigger. He didn't know if his buddy unloaded that gun or not,
Oh my gosh.
and pulled the trigger. My sister said she swore she was a dead person.
Right.
And this is the person she's on the phone with while my brother is in the hospital bleeding from his anus because he had his blood thinners, his blood was still too thin when he had his colonoscopy. I
Wow.
mean, that's some bullshit, I think. Get off the phone and get in there and be with Jen. I mean, when I found that out, that I was like, oh my God, that disgusted me. And then that's when afterwards she got all that information from my sister's abuser and started believing her abuser. And then when she goes to see Jim over at his apartment, Ziggy comes out of the bedroom and tells my sister to get out of their apartment. And that's when my brother's like, oh, wait a minute. That's my sister. You don't tell my sister to get out.
Right.
And
You
his
know?
apartment, he owned the entire apartment building.
Yeah, he did. So, I mean, my brother was there for her while she was going to college and not working, and I mean, going to school and doing all that stuff. I mean, my
Did
brother
Ziggy,
was
did Ziggy ever work that you knew her?
no, she never had a job as long as they've been together. She went to college, but she wasn't working.
Yeah, some good that associate's degree did for her. And she can't even have a legitimate business. Her business is on paper only.
Well, yeah,
Nobody will
okay.
give her a lease.
Other than the business, that's the only job I know of. So I have to retract that. The business, the makeup thing.
Yeah, and that even failed because they closed her eBay store because she wasn't shipping orders, and it's not even consistent. Every now and then she'll go live and have a sale, and Cindy was the one who was buying most of it because nobody, really wanted what she had.
Right.
Like a lot of people were skeptical, because you don't know. She buys like pallets of closeout items, and you just don't know if it's authentic, has it been opened, whatever. I mean, most of the stuff
Yeah.
seemed like it was decent quality, but like it wasn't like a consistent thing. And then when she wasn't shipping orders, eBay shut her down.
Well,
And she
that
has
goes to
no.
show you, and those are the kinds of things I think her and Jim were arguing about. If you want
Mhm.
me to, and this is just speculation at this point,
Yeah.
because Jim was a go-getter. He was a money maker. He was about not laying on your ass and letting life go by. You need to get out there and make money. You need to do for yourself. That's the kind of person he was, and I know for a fact he bitched. I mean, to my mom constantly about how he can't get Adrian up in the daytime, that she wants to stay up all night fucking off and sleep all day, every day. And, and she gets up and goes to school and then stays up all night fucking off and then wants to sleep all day and do nothing. And then they come back, get her daughter back. I bet you anything that's why they're fighting. Because he can't handle that. He's like, do something with your life, woman. I'm sure that's what their major fights were about.
Now, was
Because
he
that's what he complained
suspecting?
about.
Was he suspecting? Because I thought you told me the other night, but you might have gotten it mixed up. Back then, was he suspecting that she was using before she moved out?
Before she moved out, I'm not clear on that. I know after
Okay.
she moved out. Now, when she was smoking weed on YouTube, that's when he suspected
That's
it.
when it started. Okay, so he started suspecting that she was using again when he was seeing her smoking weed on YouTube. Okay,
yeah.
okay, because I thought you said when she moved out because of him suspecting that she was using again, but it was mostly because she was a loser. She wasn't doing anything. She wouldn't cook, wouldn't clean.
Right.
just
She wouldn't do
slept.
none of those things either. Jim did all that.
Okay.
And yeah, so I don't know if they were living together or not when she smoked weed on YouTube. So if they were living together at that time, that's when it started because
Yeah, they were.
and that's what I'm unclear of exactly. I think I assume they were living together at that time.
Yeah, because I remember she was driving to Illinois to buy it in the shops, and I know she was taking her daughter with her.
And that's another thing he was pissed off about.
Yep.
He didn't like that at all.
There was like a limit, like they limited on how much you could buy. Because I remember she used to get aggravated that she'd have to drive all that distance and could only get like X amount of, like, she would get 2 packs of gummies and like 2 vapes or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Well,
exactly.
She's not even supposed to carry it over state lines because it's illegal in Indiana.
Right.
So, she's breaking the law with her daughter in the car. Come on. That's the things that I'm sure they were fighting about. He was big on responsibility, especially when it came to kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you that's what they're fighting about that too. And that's what led to her wanting to move out. I guarantee it, because when you got somebody on you about, hey, be responsible. Hey, keep your kid in school. Why isn't she going to class? Why aren't you up in the daytime with your daughter? You need to be monitoring her homeschooling. I'm sure they were fighting about all those issues. I guarantee they were. Because these are the things he was griping to my mom about.
I remember she had a live stream. Her daughter was texting her and calling her from school. I guess her daughter called another girl a bitch, and then it started a fight. So then she was in the principal's office calling and texting her mom to come get her. So instead of, going and getting her, and this kid's traumatized, she just moved back in with her mom, started a new school, called the kid a bitch, and, got into a fight. And instead of going and picking her up, she's live like, what do you think I should do, guys? Do you think I should maybe homeschool her? And everybody in chat is screaming, go get your kid.
Oh my God.
But this is like
She's
the
not
dumb
getting
stuff.
off the live to go get her.
No, this is the dumb stuff. And there's so many times where she came on. Eliza, I think you were in this one too, where it's 1 o'clock in the morning and her daughter's like, Mom, I'm hungry. Can we get Taco Bell? And she's like, yeah, hold on. Like, give me an hour. An hour goes by. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning until she finally ended this live stream. And she's telling her she's hungry. She wants to eat.
Oh my God.
And I'm
Those
thinking,
are,
like,
I guarantee
1
you,
o'clock
those
in the
are the
morning.
things they thought about. Because those are the things Jim would not let happen. That's probably why he was going over there, bringing them food, bringing them, taking her out to eat, and all that stuff. You know, I guarantee. You know,
it was daily. He took her every day to Starbucks to get bubble tea, and then for food, like Taco Bell was a big thing because every time I would be on the phone with her, Jim would be there, taking her someplace to get like
See?
nails or, you know, some kind of food, the bubble tea, the daily. This was every single day. They would go
see,
get bubble
and
tea.
that's how my brother was. He was so big hearted. He was give.
Mm-hmm. Driving her to friends' houses and take it, all of the friends, like all her whole group of friends, he would pick up and take
See?
them to go eat.
See, and that's just how he was. That's my brother in a nutshell. He loved that girl, and he didn't give a shit about what the fuck Adrian was doing. He only cared about what she was doing and how Caitlin and how little Ziggy was involved. That's it.
Right.
Because, like I said, he said so 2 weeks before he died. He sat at my mom's house and cried about it. And he wouldn't have done that if she hadn't had him to that point, because I'd never seen him so flustered in my life.
And men
Like,
don't admit
literally.
stuff like that too. So for a grown man, a tough guy like Jim, to go to his mom and cry, you know,
Yeah.
it had to be pretty bad.
It was. He cried. He was crying. And he even was telling us how he was tracking her and everything. Like, I knew about him tracking her. I knew about it all. Because he didn't hold nothing back. He was there. He's talking to my mom. Then me and my sister showed up. And then we showed up and we sat down out there. And then we got all involved in the conversation. And he told it all. Why he was tracking her, how he was tracking her.
That he did to his own daughter.
Yeah, he tracked his own daughter too. You know, that's how he shows concern. And you know, his daughter said that she was irritated at first, but it was like, oh, it's okay, you know.
Right.
But that's when, you know, I think she was in West Virginia with him at the time he did that. You know, saying, why are you in that area? You know, it's a bad area.
Yeah, lots of parents track their kids.
Yeah.
We have iPhones, and I'm always looking. Like, if my kids don't really go a lot of places, but like when my youngest, when she's out with her friends, there is certain parts of the city I don't want her in, so I'm, you know, looking to make sure she's where she says she's at.
Yeah,
and not out roaming around.
Yeah. My brother, same way. And he, you know, I just can't believe that she even would think the fact he didn't give a shit who she was doing it with or why. He just didn't want her doing it around the child. He didn't think it was appropriate. He didn't like it. I mean, you know, and I guarantee this too. If he would have lived, you know, he would have probably eventually even trying to move on, say things didn't work out with this lady he was with. He would have eventually maybe tried to work his way back with Adrian again for the sake of the child. I mean, that's just who he was. And he loved her. I mean, that's just it's sad, but he did. And it's almost like the abuse was altered, you know. Like she would boss him around.
Yeah, Pearl made a really good comment about she projects her behavior onto other people. So,
Yeah.
she was making him to be the abusive, controlling person, but it was really her.
I mean, but she was awfully demanding to somebody who's supposedly abusive.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty damn demanding. Like, one morning, Jim took us. I was in West Virginia visiting from Indiana, and said something about Jim taking me and getting me a Starbucks. And Jim said, "Well, I better grab Adrian one, because if I get you one and not her, she's gonna have a fit."
Wow.
I said, "She'd be jealous
Jealousy.
because you bought your sister a Starbucks, really."
Oh, well, that's, oh my God, you should see how she acted with us. Like, we couldn't, like, talk to anybody else. We couldn't go to any other channel she didn't like. And when I started getting close with the other girls and we decided to make our own channel, she lost her freaking mind. Like, I had to convince her that it was, like, for her benefit, or else, like, you never know what the hell she was gonna do. Like, if
Yeah.
she was gonna go live one day, and because we didn't want, like, our identities known. And then the one time, someone said something to her in her chat, like, they kind of challenged her, and she was pissed. She was screaming my name on her live because she was, like, demanding to know who said what, like, who this person is. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, I can't tell her because she'll out them on the live and just lose her shit. So I'm like, I'm gonna go clean my bird cage.
If you can
So
hear me, my phone's shutting down. I'm gonna have to switch devices.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. Okay.
All right, the conversation's basically over there. Besides some random chat. Since it's getting late, I'm gonna play the tribute videos. First, I want to show you the bus.
I just want to thank Kathy really quick for doing this. It was really nice to get to see Jim on that way. The real Jim.
Yes, Kathy, thank you. Thank you for sharing him with us.
And all these photos and videos. I can't figure out how to... Oh, here we go. The bus that they brought to his funeral. And then for 5 minutes, all the city buses pulled over to pay him tribute while they retired his badge and employee number. So I hope everybody gets an idea of the real Jim, how he loved everyone, how loved he was.
And for the record, this was about Jim, Ziggy, not about you.
Yep.
I want to show... Now, Pearl made 2 different tributes. There's 2 different songs. I Hope You Dance came on the radio one night when Jim and Kathy were driving years and years and years ago. And he said that he would dedicate this song to his kids. So that's how this song was chosen.
I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance.
I'm not even gonna lie, I'm crying.
Well, we still got one more.
I know, and just so everybody has the next one in perspective, one of the daughters told me that the next one is the song they played when he went to the OR to donate his organs, which is pretty spectacular.
September the 19th. When the day arrives that there are no more tomorrows for me, I want my children to know and never forget that they were, are, and always will be deeply loved by me.
You said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me, and a moment came that stopped me on the dime. I spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about the options and talking about sweet time. I asked him when it sank in that this might really be the real end. How's it hit you? when you get that kind of news. Man, what you do? And he said, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Mansion. And I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. He said I was finally the husband, but most of the time I wasn't. And I became a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden going fishing wasn't such an imposition. And I went 3 times that year, I lost my dad. Well, I finally read the good book, and I took a good long hard look at what I'd do if I could do it all again. And then I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Mansion. And I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get a chance to live like you were dying. Tomorrow was a gift, and you got eternity. Think about what you do with it. What did you do with it? What did I do with it? What would I do with it? Skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Mansion. And I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I watched the eagle as it was flying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. To live like you were dying. To live like you were
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Shut up.
I'm a bawling mess.
Oh.
I'm just
Oh,
glad
I did
that
have makeup
people-
on, ladies.
I'm glad people got to know the real Gem, and I've come to adore this family, and I think they're incredible, and I don't have anything negative to say.
Beautiful job, Pearl.
So beautiful.
I hope it brings his family a little bit of comfort. Nothing will undo what was done to them after the shock of losing their father and hearing all that about themselves on YouTube. It can't be undone, but I hope this kind of puts a Band-Aid on it.
Sets a record straight.
That's what they want done. They want people to know the real Gem. This is the real Gem, not the version we've been told for the last year.
Jim was a good man. He loved, he cared, he helped people. He had a big heart.
Yes.
So let's try to remember him that way instead of the last year's worth of bullshit that we've heard.
Yes.
And again, thank you to Kathy and his girls for teaching us about Jim.
The beautiful pictures.
It looks like he was a blast to be around.
Yeah.
He went skydiving, y'all.
He did.
Does anybody have anything else to add before we wrap it up here? I'm like at a complete loss for words.
I know I'm kind of at a loss for
I
words,
think
but
that
I
think it
wanted
really-
to
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to tell Jim's kids and grandkids, dance. Go dance.
Yeah.
Go live your life like he taught you to live it with joy and fun. That's all.
Yeah.
I said in chat earlier, hug your family a little bit tighter tonight because you never know when you're going to get that last hug. Take it while you can.
So true. All right. I guess we're going to end. Thank you, everybody, for coming and basically meeting Jim and his sister. And we will.
Did we drop real quick before we go? Did we drop their channel in the chat?
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
dropped it.
yeah. Nightbot is
Yeah.
dropping it too.
I
And
was dropping it here and there too.
Also, share it on the community tab again. Yeah, don't forget to go check out the twins YouTube. They're relaunching tomorrow. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, go check them out, guys.
But no drama.
That's all I had.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you sometime this week.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you guys. Thanks for coming. Have a good night.
Yeah, I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke, yeah. And I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke, yeah. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl.